Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And my friends, we have an amazing guest this morning, a returning guest, fifth time on the show. Her name's Gwen Stasio. And my friends, we are so thrilled to have her back. She's been a huge part of our community over the years and another just amazing example of what is possible. Not the average, not the norm, not the, what you should expect. Somebody who really put their nose to the grind, got to work. She's going to talk about her journey and her story and what she's up to. And I know you're going to love it and love her. If you're new to the show, the reason why we do this show is very simple. And what this show is all about is simply showcasing the stories of everyday average people doing above average things here by pursuing a skill or a side hustle or even a new career in online marketing. Many, like Gwen, transitioned from careers in the medical field, in nursing, which is also the medical field, construction, accounting, teaching, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, everyone and everything in between. And so let's get into this. Yeah, Phil, HVAC, good to see you this morning. That would fall under the construction category. Good morning. Good morning. All right, my friends, let's jump into this. The amazing Gwen, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. How are you? How's we're coming into winter. How is the wood supply?
I just went outside and filled the wood stove so I could make sure everything was ready to go. So my house has heat, and here we are.
Yeah. So are you still cutting the wood, or have you replaced that now with outsourcing that?
The bonus this year was that my husband was home to split the wood with me, so we did it together. And then we just had a conversation of, do we want to do this next year, or do we want to pay someone to do it?
Good for you guys. Gwen started out her journey a couple or a few years ago. She can confirm that here in a minute, but cutting wood in her videos. And that's why I ask about that, because that was kind of, we're always trying to figure out, what do I do in videos? What do I say in videos? How can I stand out? I'm just little old me in my little old life here. Gwen cut wood, and it was very interesting, and people love to see it. So take us back there to that very beginning, brief nutshell, before we get into the who, what, where's, and what's happening now in your life and your business. Take us back to why you started in this in the first place.
Why I started this? Oh, goodness. Very long story short, we were faced with a difficult decision of taking our girls out of sports because we couldn't financially continue to afford to keep them in. They do gymnastics. So I've got two girls, and we had to pull them out. And I think parents can probably, they know what this feeling feels like, to have to say no to something or have to take something away. But I remember crying every night, just thinking, like, how did you get here? How did you get to this place where, like, you're not in charge of your finances, Gwen? You're 30 something years old. You've got two kids. You can't be irresponsible like this. How did you get here? But there was something in me one night when I was just like, I couldn't hold back the tears. I took a picture of myself only for me. And I wrote on the picture, "This will make a great story one day." And I didn't know how, and I didn't know where, and I didn't know what. I hadn't found Legendary yet, but I saved that little photo in my photo stream so that when that story came up, I could come back and look at it. And, lo and behold, late one night, scrolling the TikTok feed, I found somebody talking about Legendary, and I literally jumped in. And I just had this gut feeling that this was going to be the turning point for me. And like you said in the beginning, like, I put my nose down, I turned my distractions off, I put my blinders on, and I just went forward because there was no other option. That was it.
And you didn't come from a horrible career. You were, and I always or have started to get this right, the pronunciation, a doctor of audiology,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes. Yeah.
An ear, right? Ear or sound.
Ears, hearing aids,
Yeah.
speech. Yes.
So it's not like most Americans would look at you and say, what's the problem? I mean, you're a doctor for Christmas sakes, but what
Mhm.
do they not know about
Mhm.
doctors' finances, or what do they not know about being a good little boy, good little girl, all the way up to the point to where you go to that much school and have a profession that's looked up to, and we all, when we're growing up, it's like, what do you want to be? A baseball player? No, for real,
Yeah.
a doctor, right? So what do people not know about what's really going on with doctors and others like you within the same like professionalism, lawyers, accountants, a lot of school? What do we not know about your finances and what you deal with secretly or
Gosh.
dealt with?
Well, I left the field of the doctor of audiology field in 2018 because in 2015 I had this realization that um, I wasn't working every day. I was showing up for work, but I wasn't working towards my values. Like I didn't actually know what my values were. And then I was challenged. And when I was challenged and I discovered what my values were, it became apparent to me that the work that I was doing wasn't something that was leading me towards building a life that was around what I valued. So that was the first thing. And I think a lot of people think like, I'm going to be a doctor or I'm going to go in the medical field. And it's so rewarding. But there's like this whole other side to the medical field that is insurance companies. Um, and my value was helping people, but insurance companies got in the way of me helping people the way that I wanted to help people. And I felt like I couldn't do my job in the way that I wanted to. So that's number one. Number two, financially, you spend all this money to go to school. And we're told that, well, spend the money, it'll be worth it. Spend the time, it'll be worth it. You'll get a job it won't even matter your job. We think that job is going to pay us enough money to cover the time and the money that we spent to go to school. And we were wildly wrong.
Mm.
So, student debt, not making enough in a job, still just barely getting by because of all that time and all that money that you spent to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have that experience, so it's nice to have somebody on to talk about it who did. Uh, I yeah, I have no idea what that's like, but so many Americans, probably so many of you, have tons of debt, and it's all from doing the right thing, doing exactly what you were prepped to do your whole entire life, which was grow up and go to college, go to school, do the right thing. And
Yeah.
not that a career couldn't have been fulfilling. It's just, what are the cons? What are the secret parts about that?
Mhm.
What are the things that nobody's talking about? Is all we're bringing up. We're not saying, or I'm not. Let me just take total. I'm only responsible for what I'm saying. Gwen's her own brand. Uh, my opinion is just that, I don't think it's talked about enough, the full picture,
Mhm.
and I just think there's a lot of people who are silently suffering and struggling, in couples who are having these conversations you just talked about with your husband, where you guys were talking about, now, are you going to outsource your wood cutting? But how many conversations have you had over the years, privately,
Mm.
behind closed doors, that nobody knew you were having, that were stressful and about money?
I can't. Every single fight I think that we've ever had has been around finances.
Mm,
And it's like a repeating pattern because, he could go out and work two jobs, but then he goes out and he works two jobs and he's not home. And this is something I think that also isn't talked about is like, great, I'm home for the kids and I'm home, but Also, I'm the only one home, and I'm the only one with the kids, and I'm the only one making sure we've got food and the groceries, and I know that sometimes that's hard. Like, I can see someone being like, "Oh, poor you," right? Like, if that's your hardest thing. But I think emotionally, as like as a mom with a husband who's just not around, and only because he's out trying to support the family, it still is very emotionally draining. And the level of what's the word? Like overwhelm.
Yeah.
Your space for not reaching overwhelm gets shorter each day. Does
Sure.
that make sense?
Yeah. Your fuse runs short.
Yeah.
You're a human being. Hey,
Yeah.
I got one for you. I got one for you. Watch this. How about if you just want to live your life and
Mm,
not be at a job or doing something that you hate or don't like? Friends, we get so addicted to struggle and sharing our struggle, even with our friends and family. Everybody's got to have just enough struggle because, well, everybody else is struggling. So don't you dare design your life in a way that it does not have the equal amounts of struggle as
right.
all Americans do. I'm talking about the blue collar working Americans. That's what all the presidential campaigns, which is always funny because it's like, I'm talking to the hardworking blue collar Americans. I always think, God, I hope I'm not part of that. You know what I mean? Because I want to be the guy. I want to be the guy who's like, the rich are getting tax breaks. It's like, you know, the guys and gals who are getting the big tax breaks who got
Right.
billions of dollars. They're like, they're not even talking or saying. I'm just being real with how I feel, and which is that I just want to be home with my kids and my family and doing whatever I want with my time. Is that
Mhm.
illegal? Is that unethical?
Mm,
Is that immoral for me to
mm.
want that? It's just like I actually want um okay, that's your YouTube, but on Instagram your handle is she lived a good life. I want to look, friends, at your funeral, I want to take
Mm.
you into the future. Nobody's going to be saying, "Oh, he did right by, he handled his struggles well, and he, never tried to live too good or too bad. He just kind of stayed right in the middle there." I mean, that's the last thing I want anybody saying about me. If I lived my life disconnected from society's expectations or social norms, what they're probably going to say at my funeral, and which is what I hope they say, he did it his way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Isn't that what we all want? I mean, I don't want there to be anything wrong with that. I want to normalize that
Yes.
because it's like then we get into this business and we start to hear from the people in our lives. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? I can't imagine some of and I'm just imagining here, you correct me if I'm wrong, some of the snarls or comments that you may have received, or looks or things that people may have said behind your back for leaving your profession to go do this internet marketing. What in God's name is Gwen doing? What was said, and how did you handle it?
I only know the things that were said to me, right? Like, I'm sure that there is so much more said behind my back. Like, for example, I remember being at one family gathering, and this is the thing that you hear. I don't know why this is the phrase, but it's like, "Hey, Gwen, how's your little sales business going?" Like, I and at that point, I'm like, I don't even really want to talk about it. Number one, you don't understand. Number two, I think you're belittling me. Number three, it doesn't even really matter. Let's just have a conversation outside of that. But my field is very, very small. So my graduating class had 10 people. And of those 10 people, I can count on my hand 2 people who are happy in their job, and about 3 or 4 others who have come full circle and come back to me and asked me what I'm doing. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. Connie says, first question is, how much do you make? Makes me crazy. What makes you crazy, Connie?
when they ask you how much you make,
I don't know. Are you saying you want to know how much she makes? I mean, is that what you're saying, Connie, or are you asking something else? Want to answer all of your questions. If you do have one, put it down in the box. I know, Lewis, your little quote little sales business. I've never heard it called that, but that is hilarious. Um, just this has you're now no longer doing the you're no longer working in that profession at all. Is that
right.
right, Glenn?
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, just to your success, we're just sharing this for credibility purposes. I mean, how long have you been doing this? 2 years?
Yeah, May of 2023.
And
Year
has
now.
this been a profitable venture for you? And what would you say overall after expenses? I mean, what has your income looked like in comparable to
Oh,
your doctor income? I don't think I've ever asked you that question.
good Lord. Okay, so the doctor income is so interesting. I'm in a field that was a master's degree for a long time, and then all of a sudden, in my last year of undergraduate, they decided to make it a doctorate. So instead of going to school for 2 more years, I had to go to school for 4 more years, and there was no other option. But I thought, how cool! Like how cool! I'll be a doctor. I put doctor in front of my name. So cool. But also, what's 40 grand a year times 4 instead of 2? It's a big difference to pay for school, right? Um, in the first year, not even year, from May 2023 to December of 2023, I doubled the income that I was making per year, like as a salary, as a doctor of audiology in the digital field. And like, I still feel like I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's been a multiple six-figure venture for you just from what I know that you have earned.
Yeah.
Certain affiliate income. You've been an affiliate of Legendary. You were a client. You went through our original 15-day challenge. You enrolled in our blueprints. You became an affiliate of ours, not because you wanted or because we asked you to, but just simply because I assume you saw and you understood how to market products to people who were in a similar situation than you were. You
Mhm.
understood that you could be or were your target client, helping the person that you were just a few months ago made sense to you. I think we've talked about this before. And you remain in that niche, the online marketing and social media marketing niche. You remain in that niche now. You've done affiliate marketing. You've created your own courses. I mean, you've done what we teach people to do here at Legendary, which is essentially the core 4 business models or the 4 ways to sell information online. You've done all or a combination of those 4 over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been, amazing to see you to sort of expand into those different things organically. Um, and it's not been an overnight thing. You've also spoke on our stages. So you've been asked to speak. What would you? Somebody said, I did see this question come by. Ariel, about to sign up for the blueprints.
Mm.
What's your best advice? I just went through this kind of timeline of your journey. Now let's go back to Ariel here, who says, what's your best piece of advice for a working mom business owner looking to gain financial and time freedom through my own online business? She says, I'm about to sign up for the blueprints.
Okay.
Key word there,
Okay.
right? He's going back to take us back to you
Mhm.
starting and kind of in that phase. And what's your best advice for Ariel to get started and then also go on to create what you've created, which is um, financial and time freedom, or at least an element of financial and time freedom.
Yeah. The thing that I tell everyone who is like, everyone's biggest question when they come through the initial challenge, whether it's the 15-day challenge, back in the day, or if it's the new 5-day challenge or the confidence challenge or any of them, they're like, did you buy the blueprints? And I'm like, I hate answering this question because I don't want my answer to influence you to do something that you think you need to do in order to get where I am. I want you to sit with yourself and go, do I see value in the blueprints? Do I see value here? And if I do, why am I hesitating? Why are you hesitating? And then the next question comes, it's like, well, I don't have the money. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money. And when we want to create money, it's usually the people who don't have the money who want to create money. So and it's the same thing with going to school, right? Going to university. Did I have $40,000 a year to go to college, graduate school? No, of course not. So I went and I got a student loan and I'm like, I'll pay it back eventually. And so I think we are so trapped in this, like we hear debt as a bad word, but I honestly think that there is good debt. And the good debt is the debt that helps you grow, that helps you leverage your skills, that helps you, like, I'm not mad that I spent that money on school. I learned a lot. I'm still paying that back, which is, it's another conversation for another day. But so that, I guess to come back to that question is like, do you see value in the blueprints? And if you do, then why are you hesitating? Right?
Yeah.
And then the second part of that question too, once you get the blueprints and how do you start to build this digital ecosystem? So you can see everything that you can do with these high income skills. And I always say, just pick one avenue first. And usually affiliate marketing is the easiest route to go first because you don't have to create your own product. Like, how easy is that? You just get to learn how to effectively market. Once you learn how to effectively market, which I learned in the blueprints, then you can do anything. Then you can go create your own course if you want to. You can go have a mastermind that you want to, a live event. You know how to market it. That part's already done. You've already learned those skills. Now you get to go do the other part of it. So I think it's one step at a time. Ask yourself what you value, and then ask yourself, if you do value it, why are you not going for it?
Yeah. And I think in the grand scheme of things, as you said, there, especially on an education experience, there's never wasted money, especially if it's something that's specific and not super ambiguous. I mean, I would say there are some generalized degrees that I've talked to a lot of people who say they're a waste of money. A specialized degree where you know what profession you're going to go into and you're really going to be able to create an ROI in that profession is the smartest way to, if you're going to invest big money, you're basically paying to play in the medical field as a doctor. If you want to be a doctor, you got to pay to play and you got to put that time in. It's like that's the barrier to entry in order to work on people's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But to start a business, the barrier to entry is not a 4-year degree. It's not a 6 years degree. I know people it's happening every day. Somebody just within the last 5 to 10 minutes signed a huge 5-figure or potentially 6-figure student loan to go to a well-known college to get a business degree. And, we still can't belittle those people, right? Because damn it, that's not what we want. We don't want them to feel bad about their decision.
No.
But holy crap. And so if you're talking about spending a few $1,000s inside of a proven community that doesn't have all the hoopla. I mean, we're criticized by mainstream media. We are not the university system that has decades and decades of systemic power over our society, where literally people are marketing for the universities when the children are small. It's like cigarettes. when you see your father smoking. People are asking you when you're 5, where do you want to go to college? What are you going to be when you grow up? So the universities are so deeply ingrained. College, going to college, taking a government loan, yuck, right? Yuck. But
Yeah.
it's so normalized, right? It's so getting into business with the fucking government when you're 18 years old. Holy shit. And you have hesitation about spending a few $1,000s on an online course in a community that is more transparent, authentic, not involved in the government at all, is a completely, totally private enterprise with entrepreneurs who came from nothing and some who transitioned from other careers and who are living lives, real lives, people. I mean, I come from the trenches. I'm out here, living my life. I mean, yeah, my town may have just got hit by a hurricane, but I mean, I'm sitting at my dinner table right now. You know what I mean? I mean, is the dean of your college going to show this? Going to show building a business like this, right? Is the dean of your college going to walk around and show pictures on his wall of his first, months of getting started with the nicotine patch still on the arm? If you look close, the nicotine patch still on the arm, right? First checks made in the business, standing up, doing a live, must have had anxiety or something. I don't know. That's how I used to do my webinars and lives. Just stand up, hunch over it like I was about to catch a ground ball on a baseball field or something. But anyways, I mean, the bottom line is, a few $1,000s to have an experience, I mean, you're going to learn something. You're going to get out of it what you put in. But most of all, what you might walk away with is a whole new outlook on life and business with skill sets that actually matter and can take you places in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to pay to start the business besides opening an LLC. You're not joining Legendary, friends. Some of you come from this kind of MLM-y, home party business thing where it's like, we're joining a business. No, you're going through education. We are going to show you, introduce to you, and talk to you about how to set up your own structure, your own corporation. So you are in business. So if anything happens to anything or anyone around you, you're still in business. You're still in business. This is not, how many times people have got hyped up thinking, I'm going to change my life. They join a network marketing company or an MLM, and then it goes out of business and they lose their whole downline and all the products they were selling. I've had it happen to me. Well, you know what? Companies could shut down with the skill sets and the business models that we're going to show you how to use. Businesses could shut down all around you and you're still in business.
Yeah.
Because this is a school for entrepreneurship. This is about setting up your own business and being an independent, not a dependent entrepreneur, an independent business owner. This is what America is about, is what we're doing and teaching right now. And you're a great example of somebody who came out of a crisis, multiple crises actually, but the crisis of the pandemic to find this and do a career pivot. Do you ever look back on that and say, I did that?
Sometimes, yes. And it's usually when I'm having like a day where I don't feel that. And I'm in the kitchen talking to my husband. He's like, wait. Remember that time that we were here and you did this and you took these steps and now we're here? Like everything that you've desired today is something that you dreamed of a year ago. And now it's in your hands, And so I think sometimes we need those reminders of like, holy crap, yeah, you did do the thing. And I know you know this, Dave, but maybe like a newbie watching this doesn't know that I had tried for 8 years to grow online in the digital space, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so I had a lot of failures. I got kicked out of a network marketing company and was left with nothing. So, but again, those things are lessons.
Yeah.
that you take into the next adventure?
Well, as you know, we've recently launched a brand new confidence challenge, and this is a passion project. This is something that we're really excited to get into people's hands, because there's the mechanics, which is the how to do something, and then there's the dynamics, which is can I do something, and do I have the confidence to follow through with it, or am I going to self-sabotage once again because
Yeah.
of some root cause within me, where I just lose confidence in myself after starting. I get really excited. The dopamine, the adrenaline of starting something new is too addicting. It's too enticing. So I start, but then the old bugaboos, the old limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
the same old shit, the same old soundtrack
Yeah.
starts playing once again. I'm not a spring chicken. I've done things like this before, but I'm losing steam. It's not happening as fast as I want it to happen or expect it to happen. I'm losing steam, and I'm losing belief in myself. Or I'm stuck in this contemplation mode after I bought, and I'm not launching, right? Because I'm just afraid to put myself out there, and I'm afraid of judgment, what people are going to think. I'm afraid of succeeding. I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of everything, right? And so 15 years of hearing this, right? It's like I've heard it so much, it's like a soundtrack. Um, we come out with a confidence challenge. I've never created a personal development or confidence course like this,
Mm.
uh, but it's here, and people are loving it. And what's your experience with building your confidence and becoming more confident on camera and
Mm.
becoming more comfortable in your own skin? Were you always as comfortable as you are now, or are you as comfortable now
Mm.
as you look?
Was I always? No. I grew up having my sister speak for me. I was too shy. She would literally ask where the bathroom was. If I had to go to the bathroom, she would order my food. Now, granted, that was like 33 years ago, but I wasn't the kid in class who raised their hand even if I had the answer. I didn't want to be called on. I didn't love my body. I didn't love myself. So I was a full swing on the other side, completely not confident. Um, Never wanted to talk in front of people. But when I saw entrepreneurship for the first time in 2015, and I saw like what people were doing, I knew that I was going to have to work and learn some skills. And what I learned in that time frame, I still think that we can always become more confident than we are today. But what I learned is that mindset and confidence is like 80% of the game, and the skills are only 20%. That's huge. And in the shower today, I had this thought of like, what came first? We always ask, like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first? You said, I'm not going to work on my self-image until I'm successful, or I'm going to work on how I feel about myself and then I become successful because I do that, right? If we think that we can't do that until we have the success, but I actually think that it's the other way around. Like, we have to work on our confidence. We have to work on loving ourselves
Mm,
before we have the success. Because if it's
mm,
the other way around, I think you get ruined. It's hard.
yeah. No, I look, I think that you become the person and get the money. You don't get the money and then become the person, you know?
Yes.
Um, it's just, yeah, I hear you. And too many people want to get the money, and then I'll turn into this, I don't know, person who is able to even keep it. I
Yeah.
mean, the majority of people who win the lottery are broke because they weren't ready to have that much money. They weren't in the mindset. They lived good for 6 months to a year, and then they
Yeah.
were broke.
Yeah.
You can look up these stories and read these stories. I'm not quoting any stats. I just, these are things I've heard. I do know that one great example was the documentary Broke, about NFL players coming out of the NFL
Yeah.
and 70-something% of them being broke within 5 years. And these are some of the highest paid athletes in the world. So look, this is not the exception to the rule, this business. This is even harder because it just because of the freedom. You're at home, you're making money. Now all of a sudden, if you do become successful, the money comes in and you're just hanging out. There's no rule. The thing about freedom, people, the thing about freedom is that when you got it, now all of a sudden you have to police yourself. You have to police yourself. A lot of you want to work at home all day, but it's what would you do with yourself with all this time, right? What do you do? Do you go fishing? Do you screw off? Do you lay on the couch? Do you watch Netflix all day? Do you get really depressed because now I don't know, right? You go to the casino all day? Do you go? I don't know, right? I just know that you're in charge of it, right?
Mhm.
And I know what that's like, and so yeah. You damn sure want to make sure that you have a little bit of discipline and a game plan around making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. But you're never going to get there unless you have the confidence to be able to do it. And part of building confidence does affect that part when you have the money, because the more confident you are, the more confident you are in yourself that you can handle having that much money, instead of feeling like you don't deserve it. I seriously, it's almost like if you start making a lot of money, if you don't feel confident that you deserve it and that you're worthy of it, then you subconsciously start spending it and giving it back away to other people who you feel are more confident to have it.
Yeah.
That really is what I believe happens, versus being confident, developing your confidence, making the money, and then just having the confidence and the faith and the trust that you can handle it, invest it, that you can steward it. Does that resonate with you?
Wouldn't you say that once you start making your own money, and now maybe you're a little bit better off than you were before, maybe you're a little bit better off than you were, of the friends that you have. Once you start getting in that position, you have to be confident enough to say no to what society is telling you what to do. Because society will tell you how to spend your money. Society will tell you don't do that. That's scary. That's not safe, right? So you have to have the confidence once you start making the money in order to say no to the things that you're so used to doing.
No doubt. No doubt. It's going to be weird. It's going to be like, saying no to doing it yourself and actually outsourcing it to somebody else.
Yes.
That's going to be one of the weird things. I had that struggle with, oh my God, do I outsource the cleaning of the house? Holy crap, trading fights and everything else over that, because it's like, wow, these are some of the decisions that you now have and that will be difficult for you to let go of as you begin to expand your life and business. You will start to have to make decisions like that. What do I outsource? What do because now I have the time to be able to, I have the money to be able to buy time back.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden I can, instead of me doing all the wood cutting, I can outsource that and I buy back 18 hours or how
an entire summer. I bought back an entire summer.
20 hours. I don't know, 40, 80, 120,
A
100
lot.
hours.
A
100
lot.
hours.
Sure.
100 hours, right? You bought back 100 hours, let's just say.
Yeah.
50 to 100 hours of your time of being out there for 2 to 3 months, multiple an hour, multiple a day.
Yeah.
Cutting wood when you outsource that. The same thing is when you clean your house.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a chef before.
Yeah.
All of these things will be decisions that you then make and you scale up your expenses as you're making more. You scale them down when you're making less. You have to, as an entrepreneur, you don't just get on a budget. Life becomes more exciting than that, because maybe you might make a little bit more, make a little bit less. You're going to have to scale down and scale up both your business and your life expenses. But this all comes with experience. These are the things that growing confidence helps to prepare you to do. It's to live a bigger life. It's to live a better quality of life. It's to do more of the things that you want to do. It's to live life the way that you're really capable of living, which is with so much freedom. Tell a quick story, and then we'll bring this in for a landing, get a little final wisdom from you. But you ever heard the elephant story about the elephant that's got the chain wrapped around its leg as a baby? And it just gets used to, because the chain really is stronger when it's a baby. When that chain's around its ankle, it knows it's locked in place, or it's tied down. Then as that elephant gets older, they still keep a chain around its ankle, because it remembers that as long as that chain's around its ankle, it can't get away. And it's really strong enough, it could bust that thing, but it's so conditioned mentally to think that that chain is stronger than it is. And we live our lives a lot like that too. There's so much freedom and opportunity for fun and memories when you begin to own your time. But we don't know, because as our whole lives, we've had a chain tied around our ankle that says, be a good little boy, be a good little girl, get a job. Don't be too successful. You still need to struggle. You still need to struggle. Don't get too happy. Don't be too happy. Don't have too much fun. There's a way to live your life. You take vacations in the summer. Right?
Yeah.
Don't expect more than about 8% return on any investment. Don't expect to make more money than you really need.
Yeah.
Right? All of these things are that chain that was wrapped around our ankle that we still think is there, but we're much stronger than that. And we begin to learn that when we do things outside of our normal everyday routine. One of those things you could do right in the comfort and safety of your home that could launch your life and career in a different trajectory is to start the confidence challenge today, to go enroll in it and go do it. And I promise you, you will have an awareness, you will begin to know how to develop confidence. You will be focused on the things that you need to be focused on in order to change your personality into a more confident person. This means your self-talk. This means what you're thinking about. I'm going to point out things to you in the confidence challenge that I promise you weren't thinking about, and that you do every single day, that's like an anchor that's holding you down from becoming more confident. You'll never become confident until you stop doing these things. Start the confidence challenge. It's 5 steps. It's not even 5 days. You could finish it before that. Go through it. We'll then reintroduce you to the Blueprints offer. Of course, that's our flagship program. That's where we both help you develop the marketing and the business plan skills, but also continue to help you to grow your confidence. So yeah, go through the confidence challenge if you haven't yet. Gwen, what have you learned about yourself in 2024 through this business, through this experience?
In 2024, I have learned that I am resilient, that you can't build a house on quicksand. There's a lot of talk out there about, you talk about this all the time, drop shipping, and what's the next, make money so fast. There's a lot of talk about that. And a lot of people want that without understanding really what's going to happen. Even if you do make quick cash, there is no foundational structure to keep you standing on that. At some point, you're going to sink. So if you haven't built any skills to allow you to then pivot if you need to, then you'll be back at zero. So what I've learned is that the 2 biggest skills that you can have for yourself are, number one, the self-talk, the self-trust. Okay, trust that you can do this, trust that you will do this. And then the foundational skills that make up the foundation of every single successful online business that is a long-term successful online business. If you have those skills and you have the confidence, you're set up for success no matter what you do. If you want to change, if you want to do something different, if you want to go build something, that's it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. I love that your message always kind of stays the same, it's always consistent. And I love that about you, my friend.
Mhm.
Tell my best to you and your hubs and your family. And I hope you guys have an amazing holiday season. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful white Christmas, lots of firewood, lots of fires, lots of laughs, smiles. Hopefully, you're able to enjoy and sit back and reflect on how far you've come. Oh my God, so far in the last couple of years, congratulations. Nobody I can think of who deserves it more than you. And so just keep up the great work. Stay legendary, my friend, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Talk to you soon. Grateful for you. Thank you.
All right, see you, Gwen.
Bye.
All right, my friends, you can find Gwen over at She Lived a Good Life over on Instagram. She's also YouTubing. You can find her over on YouTube at Gwen Stasio. Okay, that's GuinevereStasio. Follow her on Instagram at She Lived a Good Life. Start our brand new confidence challenge at legendarymarketer.com/enroll. It's brand new. It's hot. It's truly impacting people in ways I haven't seen before in any of our curriculum. Enroll in it. Go experience it today. We are also, yes, always looking for new affiliates and ambassadors to go out and share our message, share our products. We've got an amazing process that delivers value that allows people to go through a simple low-cost challenge and get immense value, get their feet wet, decide if they want to pursue these skill sets and learn these business models, and they get to make that decision at the end of the challenge. If they want to, we'll of course introduce them to our Business Blueprints program. But as an affiliate, there's no better product. There's no better company that stands by their products than Legendary. And I can say that tipping my hat to myself, but also our amazing team. There's nothing wrong with loving what you do and being proud of what you do. And I'm proud of what this team and this company does every single day. There's nobody that stands behind that. Not in this industry. Come on. Not in this industry. There's nobody that stands behind their products like we do. So if you want to be an affiliate, or you want to start or restart with us, you can go to legendarymarketer.com and click on affiliates, sign up. There's no games, there's no qualifications to be an affiliate. It's free, and we've got some additional education and things for you to see once you become an affiliate back there. If you want to join and spread the message that we've been sharing now for, I don't know, since 2017 when we launched, the same message, the same, just beating the drum to the same tune. It's a beautiful thing. Wake Up Legendary. If you're new here, we're here 5 days a week. We've been doing this for 1,100 episodes. Nobody's doing anything like this. Nobody's ever done anything like this. And in order to beat this, like, you know how LeBron James just passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time leading scorer in the NBA? It's going to take somebody a lot of work to pass up this scoring championship, because we've got so many amazing students inside of our community. Legendary, 1,100 episodes strong. If we could have done more, we would have done more. But we do it 5 days a week. For Christmas sakes, we need to take 2 days off. Can't work on the weekends every weekend. So we'll be back here tomorrow for another episode. You can, if the sun is going to rise outside, we'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So tune in, my friend. Catch the replays on this page, on YouTube, and on all the major podcast platforms. Just type in Wake Up Legendary. And last but not least, meet us in Austin at the Mastermind January 31st through February 2nd. It's going to be insane. Get there. Go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll. Grab your ticket. Get out of here. Have a great day. Thanks again, Gwen. You're amazing. Thank you all for the love. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.